Good evening, everyone. It is Friday, February the 21st, 2020. It is currently 6:23 p.m. Central Time. Well, I have a news article in front of me, and I believe this news article is extremely important because it shows the damaging power of falsehood. It shows the damage that a lie can cause. It shows the danger of falsehood, the power of falsehood, the damage that it can inflict on people's lives. Now, yes, this is the Theology Central podcast, so we could definitely look at this from a theological perspective. How God condemns the speaking of lies. God condemns falsehood. Yes, we could look at it this way, but I just want us to step back and just look at this from a very practical perspective, especially in light of our society today, because today, falsehood, a lie, a hoax, fake news can spread with the click of a mouse, the tap of a screen on a mobile device, just simply hitting post, hitting send, hitting share, and the next thing you know, falsehood, a lie that may in the past have only reached a few people, maybe even a few thousand people, now can reach people around the world. And a lie and falsehood, well, can be devastating. It can create panic. It can create horrible situations. Let's consider a practical example of this principle from the news. In fact, just a little while ago, I got a notification on my iPad and I saw this headline. A viral email about coronavirus had people smashing buses and blocking hospitals. So we have an email that goes viral. There's something in this email dealing with the coronavirus. The contents of this email then led people, all right, now of course they made their own decision, but there was something in this email that motivated people to get up, leave their homes, and go smash buses and block hospitals. Now, that's a pretty serious situation. That's dangerous. Now, what happened? Well, here is the story. A dangerous mix of fear and fake news about the coronavirus has sparked violent protest in the Ukraine. Despite there being no confirmed cases in the country. I want you to hear this. A dangerous mix of fear and fake news about the coronavirus has sparked violent protests in the Ukraine, despite there being no confirmed cases in the entire country. No confirmed cases in the country, but this email goes viral. There's something in it. People get up, leave their homes, and they're like, that's it. We've got to do something. And they attack buses and block hospitals. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's continue with the story. Protest and clashes with riot police have broken out in several places after a mass email claiming to be from the Ukraine's health ministry spread false information that there were 5 cases of coronavirus in the country on the same day a plane carrying evacuees from China arrived. So I want you to hear this. A fake email that contained false information, or a mass email. I'm going to use their exact words. A mass email claiming to be from the Ukraine's health ministry spread false information. So it contained false information that there were 5 cases of the coronavirus in the country. Now, this all went out on the same day a plane carrying evacuees from China arrived. So people saw this, again, false information, didn't bother to stop, didn't bother to check, didn't bother to confirm, didn't bother to do anything else, and immediately like, we've got to do something now. We could be in danger. This could be a threat to our safety and our family. Let's go attack buses and block hospitals. Protesters have smashed the windows of buses carrying evacuees and set fire to makeshift barricades. So you've got these evacuees who their whole lives have been turned upside down with this coronavirus, being in quarantine, all these things that have happened. They're evacuated. They're in a bus. They come back they're in the Ukraine, and then protesters show up, smash the windows, and set fires to makeshift barricades. If you look at the photograph for this episode of this podcast, you'll see one of the protesters hurling a brick at a bus where there's a fire. It's crazy. It's like, what is going on? And this was started because of a mass email that contained false information, because of people's fears, because people are irrational. But the email sent to the Ministry of Health's entire contact list had actually originated from outside the Ukraine, the security service of the Ukraine said in a statement. Only 2 Ukrainians have been infected with the coronavirus, and they are aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship docked in Japan, and they've already recovered. Disinformation surrounding the coronavirus has spread online globally and caused panic in other countries ever since the outbreak started in Wuhan, China in December. In the Ukraine, where trust in the healthcare system and the government is low, anxiety about the outbreak spread as fast as the fake news claiming the first cases had arrived in the country was disseminated online. It didn't seem to matter that the Ukraine Center for Public Health put out a message warning of the fake news, or that the president said authorities had everything under control. So they were sent out a message saying, hey, this is not true. This is not true. And they go on to say, we urge the media not to disseminate this information and to inform the press service of the Ministry of Ukraine of the sender of this information upon receipt of this letter. So they're calling, hey, who sent this? Why is this being published? Why is this being sent out? It was fake information. It was false information. Now, no one, as far as I know, was killed. Far as I know, no one was seriously injured in any of these protests. Far as I know. Again, I just got this notification literally 5 minutes ago. But we've seen a lot of this since the coronavirus has started. False information spreading on the internet. False information being shared by people on Twitter. False information being shared by people on Facebook. False information. There are people out there claiming to have this natural, supplement will cure the coronavirus with no actual proof of that happening, sending out that kind of information. There is all kinds of fake and false information flying around. And this is true. Make sure you listen to me. This is true Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every 7 days a week, every day of the month, every day of the year, 24 hours a day. False information is spreading on the internet. Not just about the coronavirus. Pretty much about everything. Pretty much about everything. There may be some topic out there that someone hasn't bothered to spread false information about yet, but trust me, if I could come up and name that topic, it would only take about 13 seconds and someone would go create some false information about it. Fake news. Fake information. Now, this term fake news, it's obviously sometimes been used for, hey, if a news agency reports something I don't like or I don't agree with, it's fake news. So sometimes the term has lost its power because now people just use it as a weapon. They just use it as a bat to attack someone they don't agree with. No, listen. What we need to focus on is when information is shared and reported on the internet. I don't care if it's by your best friend. I don't care if it's about it's from your mother. I don't care if it's from your father. I don't care if it's from your child. That information, once it can be demonstrated, is not accurate, is not true. You need to tell the person that information, I'm going to come to you in private first. You need to remove it. You need to post a retraction. You need to let everyone know that this is false information because false information has consequences. Now, in the case of the Ukraine, people end up smashing, throwing bricks at a bus and setting fires and blocking a hospital so that people can't get to a hospital because of an email, because of false information. Now, you may post something and you're like, well, the information may not be accurate, but I still think it's a good email. No, if the information is false, it's not good. If the information is not true, it's not good. And when someone points it out to you, don't respond with pride, that your pride has been hurt, that your ego has been hurt. Respond in humility and say, thank you for pointing this out. Let me add a retraction. Let me delete this. Let me tell everyone that the information I sent to them was false. Let me look at all the people who shared this and contact them and say, hey, that information you shared that I posted is false. Pull it back, contain it, quarantine it. Okay. Using the coronavirus idea, quarantine it, eliminate it, confront it. And it's your job that when you see information posted that you stop and go, is this true? Is this true? Is this accurate? How many sources have you checked with? Now, this is what this is the idea that some people operate under. Again, if I don't like the information, and this becomes very political, and I hate that. Once politics get involved, everything gets messed up. It almost works this way. If I'm a conservative Republican, and someone posts information that attacks some conservative idea, attacks the president, then you mean it's fake. And if you're a liberal and someone posts something that attacks a liberal policy, a liberal, some kind of, something in the liberal ideology, oh, that's fake. No, you can't just scream fake to throw out something you don't like, to throw out something you disagree with. You throw out fake when the information is fraudulent. It does not conform to reality. It does not conform to truth. Then you do so. We need, and listen, society has done this to themselves. This entire problem with fake news, falsehood, lies, and misinformation, society did it for themselves, because for how many years did people run around claiming truth is relative? My truth, your truth. I'll live my truth. You live your truth. There's no absolute truth except for the fact that there's no absolute truth, because that would have to be absolutely true for there not to be absolute truth. Okay, whatever. This idea of relativism, this philosophy swept across the culture. And then all of a sudden we reap the benefits of relativism. What is truth? Who cares about speaking truth? Speak whatever I want. If I think it's true, then it's true. And if you don't think it's true, it doesn't matter. Your truth, my truth, who cares about truth? And when we started acting like truth didn't matter, well, then what happens? Falsehood and lies begin to dominate the culture. And now what happens when falsehood and lies begin to dominate the culture? Well, bad things happen. People are deceived. They react off that false information. People do things they shouldn't do. Bad things can take place. The concept of truth has to be reestablished within the society. And so now I can look at it from a more of a theological perspective. Truth, absolute truth, a transcendent truth. Well, we could get into a whole discussion there. But I mean, I just want you to know that this is an email that was obviously spread in the Ukraine. A mass email contained false information, and then people go out and do these crazy things. There's been false emails and false information posted about the coronavirus here in the United States of America. There's been false information. We're fast approaching, before we know it, the election cycle, when we're already in full swing with the election cycle. Moving towards the general election, who's going to be president. And there's going to be all kinds of false information being posted all over the place. False information in regards to Trump, false information in regards to the Democrats, false information about the election, false information about voting, false information about everything under the sun. There is so much false information out there. We literally, people who do podcasts, we need probably like an army of podcasters who are dedicated to only one subject, truth. Look at what's being reported. Look at what's going on in the culture. Find all the false information, then point out the false information and then correct it. Now, doing so, not out of a political motivation, not doing so, I'm only going to disprove the lies that negatively impact my ideology or my political party. No, we should forget party, forget ideology, and care about truth. Truth. Truth is power. Truth is positive. Truth is good. Now, to be fair, lies and deception is powerful, but it's a negative power. It destroys, it hurts, it kills, it divides, it breaks. Avoid falsehood. So I just want you to be aware. Now, I know, I don't know if anyone, we do have listeners sometimes from the Ukraine. If you're in the Ukraine, check what you see, verify. But it's not even for the people in the Ukraine. It's for people all over the world. Verify. And I'm telling you, I know you don't want to confront your friend on Facebook or whatever social media platform you may be on, and you don't want to tell them that, hey, that information they're sharing is false. But you have a responsibility to. Truth should matter more than offending a friend or losing a social media friend. Who cares? Now, you can do it in a polite way. In other words, you can message them in private. You don't have to blast them on full blast in front of everyone, on social media. If you can even if you don't know the person, try to contact them in private first and say, hey, that information, that's not really accurate. And here's 3 sources. Now, I know you're like, I've got better things to do than check everything. I understand that. But if you see a claim and if you do check it, well, you should check it just so that you know, and then you can warn others. But then I think you have a moral responsibility to confront the person, to try to have it removed, to try to have it corrected. And it doesn't matter. I'm a Christian. If there's information out there that tries to make Christianity look good, make some claim about Christianity, some claim about proving the Bible, some claim about, we discovered this archaeological discovery that proves the Exodus, and it's not true, I don't care if it makes Christianity look good. I'm going to call it out and say false, 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 false. I don't care. It's not about my team. It doesn't matter. I don't care if the information helps my cause, hurts my cause. It should be indifferent. It's about truth. It is about truth. Now, speaking the truth is hard. Living according to the truth is hard because lying, the human heart from a theological perspective, again, the Theology Central podcast, looking at our world from a theological perspective, the human heart is the most deceptive thing in the world. The human heart is desperately wicked and deceitful above all things. Our heart, we go forth from the womb speaking lies. Lying and not speaking the truth is the normal way of operating for human beings. We lie, we misrepresent, we don't speak the truth, but we have to fight that. We all fall short. Amen. We all fall short, but we have to combat it. And when it comes to information being spread online that's not true, that should be easy to fight. So here's what you need to learn. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, verify its accuracy, verify its trustworthiness. Now, how do you do that? You may have to look up sources that are opposed to whatever you're looking at, that is contrary to it. And if there is a contrary side, consider the contrary side. Verify accuracy and truthfulness. If you determine something is not accurate and not true, well, for your personal self, disregard it. And then if you see that information being spread somewhere else, you need to confront and help and have it removed. And you should be promoting and speaking the truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Defend the truth. It's just crazy. One viral email, and next thing you know, people on a bus are being evacuated, and like, that's a brick coming at me. There's a brick coming at my window, and that's a fire in front of the bus. Why are these people attacking me? Oh, they're attacking me because of a viral email. That's fraudulent. That's fake. Yeah. Now, you may not think this matters, but trust me, if you were on the bus and the brick was headed at you all of a sudden you would probably care about truth. All of a sudden you would care about accuracy. And if the media is responsible for spreading that information in the Ukraine, then yeah, that is even more disturbing. And sometimes, let's be honest. And since, for a number of years, trying to even trust the media, there's a lot of distrust with the media. Amongst a lot of people. And you can understand why, because sometimes the media seems to be more ideological driven than fact driven. They seem to more care about their ideological bent than focusing on the truth. And Well, they do that for money. They do that to get viewers, but who cares? Who cares about viewers? I don't want a news media that is right or left or conservative or liberal. I just want a news media that tells me the truth, the facts, and don't spin it and don't create a narrative for it. Just report the facts. But those days seem far gone. I think that's why podcasting has exploded. I think a lot of people distrust major media, and so alternative media has gained some leeway, or gain a foothold, I should say. But wait, we got to be careful. Just because it's a podcaster don't mean they're any more accurate, and they're just as ideologically driven as podcasters have an ideology as well. So we've got to get the idea of truth back in society. I think that's the main thing. All right, I'll stop right there. I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. It's just a great example of an ongoing problem in our society. Some call it fake news. I just call it fake information, falsehood, lies, deception. Truth at all cost. Fight for the truth, find the truth, share the truth, stand the truth, and expose the lies. All right, thank you for listening. You can email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Everyone have a great weekend. God bless.